Hello viewers, welcome to Nagaland TV News Now. This is Johanna Marie. Let's start with the headlines at this hour. As Russian invasion of Ukraine enters day 7th, fight between Russia and Ukraine troops continuously intensifies in Kiev and in other big cities. Along with Kiev neighborhood, major cities of Kharkiv, Kherson, Mykolaiv witness Russian bombing. Second round of peace talks between the delegations from Ukraine and Russia is reported to be scheduled on Wednesday, after the first round of talks between the two countries ended inconclusively. While expanding support to Kiev in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict, US President Joe Biden clarifies not to enter into war with Russia, forces deployed in Europe to protect its NATO allies. Nagaland Chief Secretary and Chairperson of the State Executive Committee, J. Alam, extended all the existing COVID-19 containment measures in the state till March 15 in exercise of powers conferred under Section 22(2)(b) and Section 22(2)(h) of the Disaster Management Act 2005. Indian Forum Dimapur and Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee opposed lifting of Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition Act 1989. Nagaland government to move proposal for partial lifting of the act during the forthcoming budget session of the State Assembly. Now the news in details. The Russian invasion of Ukraine enters its 7th day on Wednesday. While fighting intensified in Kiev and other big cities, Russia on day 7 bombed Kiev neighborhood Vysenik city outside of the capital. The neighborhood currently under attack are Rusanivanka, Kurnivka, Bulgaria and areas of the Kiev International Airport located in Zuleny. A thick blanket of smoke surrounded Ukraine's Nltv area following a rocket attack by Russia. Major Ukrainian cities were also bombed. Russian forces have reportedly seized control of Kherson, a city in southern Ukraine, a day after the deadly shifting of Russian airborne troops have landed in the East Ukraine city of Kharkiv and attacked a local hospital. The security services of Ukraine have said a Russian landing force have landed in Kharkiv and that a fighting is underway between invaders and Ukrainian defenders. Ukraine's city emergency have also launched a helpline on WhatsApp to send people information and critical news about the local situation and safety measures as Russia stepped up assaults. The second round of peace talk between the delegations from Ukraine and Russia is reported to be scheduled for March 2. Meanwhile, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has spoken to German Chancellor Olaf Scholz about the Russia's shelling of residential neighborhoods in Ukraine cities. Peace talk for the first round of talks between the two countries ended inconclusively. The talks were held at near Paryat River along the Ukraine-Belarus border. The first round of talks primarily focused on stopping the fighting. Mikhailo Podolyak, a Ukrainian official, after the first round of talks, said that the Russian unfortunately still has non-objective understanding of the destruction it has caused Ukraine. Meanwhile, he has demanded an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal of all Russian forces from Ukraine.
Ждем результата. Беларуси. Уважаемые друзья, президент Беларуси просил встретить вас, приветствовать и обеспечить.
800 vehicles strong convoy of the Russian military has reportedly been destroyed by the Ukrainian forces near Bashkatka city in Mykolaiv region of Ukraine. Notably, Ukrainian Air Force along with unit from the Army and Territorial Defense intercepted and destroyed the large Russian military convoy. The development was confirmed by Regional Council head of Nipoteskas, Milonki Lusiak. Reportedly, among the destroyed Russian vehicles and equipments include 3 D-30A Howitzers, Britain 80 APCS, Pantsir missile system and vehicle supply trucks with ammunitions. Meanwhile, a few Russian soldiers have also held captive by the Ukrainian forces. During the operation of the Ukrainian Defense Force lost 1 helicopter. However, the pilots of the helicopter managed to survive. Russian forces' missile hit a TV tower in Kiev on Tuesday evening, as confirmed by the Ukrainian defense minister. Notably, Russian forces have started their barbaric onslaught of Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine. At least 5 persons were killed and another 5 sustained injuries in the attack. 2 missiles hit set on fire a building right next to the TV tower. The fire has been extinguished. The missile strike targeting TV tower of Kiev has forced Ukrainian TV channels to go off-air. Following the Russian strike at the TV tower in Kiev, Ukrainian TV channels stopped broadcasting several minutes ago.
Друзья, срочно на вышке, только что по телеге, Киев. Друзья, срочно на вышке, только что по телеге, Киев.
Embassy of India in Warsaw, Poland issued an urgent advisory to the Indian nationals in Ukraine on Tuesday. The notification stated that Indians presently in Lviv and Ternopil and other cities in western Ukraine may travel at the earliest to Bodomyr's border checkpoint for a relatively quick entry to Poland. The other mentioned that Indians were advised to travel south, transit via Hungary or Romania, and that they may avoid Shyny-Mitia border crossing, which could be congested. Furthermore, it mentioned that the Embassy of India in Poland has officially deployed Mitkia and Budomyr's border checkpoints, who receive all evacuees and facilities there to travel to India. The order further mentioned that those who entered from Poland, any other border crossing where Indian officials are now deployed, may kindly travel directly to Hotel Brzezinski UL Podgorski 48 in Rizwol, where all arrangements have been made for the stay and where operations Ganga flight to India are being operated regularly. It is to be mentioned that transportation charges will be paid by the hotel by the embassy in case of Indian students do not have funds for their travel or stay. While extending support to Kiev in the ongoing Ukraine-Russian conflict, U.S. President Joe Biden has reiterated that his country will not deploy troops in the Ukraine against the Russian forces. Biden's remark came during the first State of Union address delivered by him to a joint session of Congress on Thursday, condemning Russia's premeditated attack on Ukraine. Biden said that the Russian President Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundation of the free world. Biden, however, added that U.S. will not boost the trip to the ground on the ongoing war. Biden clarified that the U.S. troops were deployed to Europe not to fight in Ukraine, but to defend its NATO allies, including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, in the events that Putin decided to keep moving west. He further stated that the NATO allies will also create a secure place and stability in Europe after World War II, and the U.S. stands with Ukraine in the ongoing conflict.
Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Every single inch. Our forces are not going to...
U.S. President Joe Biden on Thursday announced the suspension of flights from Russia in the U.S. airspace during his State of the Union address. The move comes after several European countries, including UK, France, Italy, Spain, and Canada, closed their airspace for Russian flights following Russian President Vladimir Putin's launching special military operations in Ukraine. Biden also announced that the U.S., along with its partner, is working on imposing tougher sanctions on Russia, targeting its banks, financial institutions, and key individuals. Earlier on Monday, Russia banned flights from airlines from 36 countries in a retaliatory move against the European Union airspace ban.
The Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
Amid the deteriorating situation and humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, the World Bank is preparing a $3 billion support package for Ukraine in the coming months, and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) is soon considering requests for emergency financing. World Bank Group President Davis Malpass and IMF Management Director Kristalina Georgieva announced the package for Ukraine in a joint IMF World Bank Group statement on Tuesday. Citing about the war in Ukraine, IMF stated that they are deeply saddened by the devastating and human economic toll brought by war, and stated that they stand with Ukrainians during the tough times. World Bank and IMF further added that they were ready to provide enhanced policy, technical, and financial support to neighboring countries as needed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday that the bombings in city must stop before meaningful talks on ceasefire would start. As a result of the first round of negotiation was made no progress. Zelensky has urged the NATO members to impose a no-fly zone to stop the Russian force and will preventive measures. The president stated that they refused to leave the Ukrainian capital as Russian forces advance, and demands legal binding security guarantees if NATO shuts door on the Ukrainian membership prospects. Zelensky said that the fall of Ukraine will result in Russian troops in the border of NATO member countries. The Indian Air Force has joined in the efforts to evacuate Indians stranded in Ukraine under the government-operated Operations Ganga. An IAF C-17 transport aircraft left for Romania in the early hours of Wednesday at the Hindon Air Base. This came after Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting on Tuesday to review efforts in bringing back Indians from Ukraine and asked the Indian Air Force to join the evacuation operation. With the help of the IAF, evacuation can be done in a shorter time frame and make delivery of aid much more efficient. Asserting that Poland is cooperating with India in its evacuation process, Polish Ambassador Adam Burokowski stated that there will be special flights for Indian students. The Polish envoy to India said that already more than 2 lakh people have crossed the border into Poland, including Indian students. He stated that their border points are overcrowded, but they are receiving everyone with a warm heart, and there will be special flights for Indian students. Poland is creating opportunities will also have India's level delegations in evacuations process. He further stated that Indian nationalists can cross border without any visa amid the tension between Russia and Ukraine. Nagaland Chief Secretary and Chairperson of State Executive Committee, J. Alam, has extended all the existing COVID-19 containment measures in the state till March 15 in exercise of powers conferred under Section 22(2)(b) and Section 22(2)(h) of the Disaster Management Act 2005. Notably, the standard operations procedures are stipulated in February 15 and earlier orders will remain in place. The Christian Forum Dimapur and Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee has opposed the lifting of the Liquor Total Prohibition Act 1989. Notably, the Nagaland government continues to debate to move a proposal for partial lifting of the act during the forthcoming budget session of the State Assembly, which is scheduled for March 19 to 25. Following the news, many operations have issued statements against lifting the act. Meanwhile, the Christian Forum Dimapur and Nagaland Pradesh Congress Committee has decided to formally appeal the government of Nagaland to implement the Nltv Act 1989 in letters and spirit. Notably, the Nltv Act 1989 prohibits possession, sale, consumption and manufacturing of liquor and import and export of it in Nagaland. On the other hand, the NPCC President K. Tire on Thursday said that the objective of Nltv Act was not only to cancel and permit transportation of liquor, but to stop the madness of alcohol addicts which destroys personal health, future, family, children, society and economy. Narcotic cell and personnel of Nagaland Police has seized around 600 grams of heroin worth 1.8 crore was seized in the illicit global market, Kohima, on February 27. Notably, the narcotic cell personnel of Nagaland has identified the accused as 29-year-old Ling Ming Thang Khongsai, son of Pau Kushe Khongsai of Pangjang village, under Motpung Police Station of Senapati District in Manipur, has arrested in this connection. Reportedly, the contraband concealed in 50 SOPs cases was seized by the narcotic cells mining the narcotic checkpoints at Kuzama in Kohima from a vehicle MNOSP 1186 Maruti CS. A case has been registered under 60 NDPS Act in the connection. Meanwhile, the Nagaland Police, after launch of the monolith Long White Statement operations of January to combat the menace of drugs and psychopathic substances and IMFL and its effects on the youth, made various seizures including arms and ammunition and arrested 78 persons from January 1 till February 21. District level committee for New India at the rate 75 activities concluded the third phase of New India at the rate 75 awareness on HIV, TB, blood donations with Northfield School students on Tuesday at Northfield School Auditorium, Kohima. While speaking at a program, District TB Officer Kohima Dr. Akaba Jamir stated that it's an infection disease caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which mostly affects the lungs but could also affect other organs, spreading through ear, cough, spit, sneeze, which could cause health risk to the patient with HIV, diabetes, malnutrition and substance abuse. He also informed that to eliminate TB by 2025, by Prime Minister of India has launched the program under the theme TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, whereby various activities is being carried out. Furthermore, while interacting with the participants at the program, District Program Officer DAPCU Sentimongla Tsidir said that any person can get tested for HIV, which is free of cost in a government health setting at public health care facilities. Meanwhile, Blood Donation Donor Association Kohima Bendang Imsong encouraged the participants that any person from 18 years of age to 65 years of age could donate blood to save more lives. The Department of Soil and Water Conservation on Monday bade farewell to its outgoing director K. Keshioto Awomi along with the Menik Dr. GR2 Tiabong Pa and Pion Pungro during the program, which was held at the conference hall of the Director Office. The retiring officer J. Keketo Awomi expressed his gratitude and recalled the fond memories during his service. He highlighted that the government servant should perform his or her duty with the utmost sincerity, irrespectively of hierarchy and levels, because at the end of the day, one cannot function without the other. He further encouraged the department to march ahead, giving their best efforts with sincerity. Meanwhile, the project director S.K. Hekshe lauded the outgoing director for his glorious achievements during his tenure as director, and it was an example which he urged everyone to inculcate. Furthermore, certificates of appreciation was presented to Awomi and the outgoing staff of the department. A farewell program for N. Mua Iyer, retiring Additional Director, Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, was held on Monday at D Block Panchayat Hall in Kohima. During the farewell program, a special video and a recording of the retiring officer during his career was presented by the cell of the CEO office. Meanwhile, N. Mua Iyer in his farewell speech said that he has retained more than 33 years of his service in the election department. He further extended his gratitude to the colleagues and also his family for their continuous support throughout his tenure. Furthermore, the Chief Electoral Officer V. Shangshik Shekhar expressed his good wishes to the retiring officer and shared his experiences of working with him. Notably, the program was chaired by Rukovityo Keje, Joint CEO. Commemorating International Women's Week, Peg District on Tuesday started its week-long program by visiting governmental residential hostels and district AIDS prevention and control units in Peg. Notably, the district administration and BBBP Peg distributed gifts and hampers and sanitary pads during the visit. The places, it is to be mentioned that the Women and Child Development Ministry celebrates the International Women's Day week from 1st of March as the iconic week and as a part of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. Mokokchung District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committee held its meeting on Tuesday at the conference hall of Hotel Whispering Winds. The meeting was held to review the implementation of various centrally sponsored schemes by different departments in the district that come under the purview of DISHA. During the meeting, the department implementing various central schemes gave PowerPoint presentations on rural development, agriculture, health and family welfare, education, Mokokchung Principal, Municipal Council, Tuli Town Council, Mangolamba Town Council, PHED Social Welfare, Food and Supplies, PWT, RNB, and notably members of Parliament Tokiho Yeptomi and Minister Metsuba Jamir attended the meeting. It may be mentioned that Tokiho Yeptomi during the meeting asked the district HODs to come up with proposal so that the requirement of the district of achieved will Deputy Commissioner Mokokchung Limawapang Jamir proposed to vote to thanks. The Assam government on Tuesday said that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been extended in the entire state for 6 months with effect from February 28, after reviewing the law and order situation in Assam in the past 6 months. The state government has declared that state as disturbed area. The AFSPA will be ineffective till August unless withdrawn earlier. The AFSPA, which was imposed in November 1990, has been extending every 6 months after reviewing by the state government. The CM on January 1 said that the state will take pragmatic decision and look forward to 2022 as a year of hope with positive moments regarding AFSPA. The Meghalaya government has sent names of the potential candidates for the position of interlocutor proposed peace talks with the HNLC to center. This was informed by Meghalaya Home Minister Lakman Rimbai on Tuesday. Meghalaya Home Minister Lakman Rimbai said that the state government is awaiting a final decision from the Ministry of Home Affairs to the name interlocutor. Rimbai, however, refused to divulge any information of the names that has been shortlisted for the position of interlocutor of the proposed HNLC peace talks. The former Uttar Pradesh minister and Samajwadi Party candidate Samaj Prasad Mura's convoy was attacked in Kushinagar on Tuesday during his electioneering. Maurya had alleged that the attack was made by the BJP party workers. Maurya was in a different car when he was traveling for the campaign in Kushinagar and said that the BJP workers were sitting with sticks, stones and guns and attacked his car. Maurya's daughter Sangmitri Ward Maitra, who is also BJP MP, has blamed the party workers on the incident. Akhilesh Yadav, chief of Samajwadi Party, has condemned the alleged attack on Maurya and said that they will counter reducing the BJP to zero in the next phase of assembly polls. The Board of Control for Cricket in India BCCI Secretary Jay Shah has confirmed fans will be allowed up to 50% capacity inside the Punjab Cricket Association PCA Stadium for Virat Kohli's 100th Test match in Meghalaya. With India taking on Sri Lanka starting from February, Jay Shah said that the former captain's landmark game will not be played in front of empty stands and has been planned earlier. Shah said the decision allows spectators in the ground is taken by the State Cricket Association and in present circumstances. The PCA office bearers have confirmed that the cricket fans will be able to witness the historic moment of Virat Kohli playing his 100th Test match. Chelsea's owner Roman Abramovich has offered Premier League club Chelsea to Hasrock WYSS, a Swiss billionaire, and several potential buyers. Abramovich is under pressure to sell his assets in the United Kingdom amid Ukraine-Russia crisis as there are calls for sanctions against him, and he is looking to get his assets free before they get frozen. Swiss billionaire said that Abramovich was asking for too much. However, he has not ruled out getting into the mix with Cosmotum. Thank you for tuning in. For more updates, keep watching Nagaland TV.
Nagaland TV.